to our feature five. And it's the first game on Saturday. Boom, out of the gate. First versus second. It's Man City against Liverpool from the Etihad at lunchtime Saturday. City a wild 4-4 result against Chelsea before the international break. Erling Haaland scored a brace in that game. Now has 13 goals through 12. What's incredible in that game is that Chelsea came away with an XG of 3.49 in that game, which almost doubled the expected goals against that City had in their previous 6 away games combined. They haven't lost in 6. They've gone over 2.5 in their last 6 games in all competitions. They've been the first to score in 5 of 6, but just one Premier League clean sheet in their last 6 games. City have won their last 23 home games in all competitions. Victory here would equal the record for an English top-flight club in terms of consecutive home games with the victory. They have the most goals scored with 32. Their expected goals courtesy of Understat, 27.91 is second best. At home, 100% record through 5 games, 16 goals scored, 3 conceded. The 16 goals scored is impressive, but they're doing it on an XG, according to Understat, of just 7.93. It's kind of a crazy anomaly how much they're overachieving and taking advantage of the chances that they do have. Injuries are an issue. Kovacic out. Ake out. Ederson probable. Nunez out. He was withdrawn. All of them were withdrawn, by the way, from their national teams before a ball was kicked. And Erling Haaland left the game injured for Norway. Apparently, if it was a cup final against Scotland, he would have played. It didn't matter, so he didn't play. So we expect Haaland to play. Stones out as well. For Liverpool, a 3-0 victory at home. This is what they do. They win at Anfield. Over Brentford, Mo Salah with a brace and up to second in terms of the goal-scoring table on 10. The XG in that game, relatively even between the two sides. Liverpool have gone over 2.5 in 5 of 6. Liverpool unbeaten in the Premier League in 5, but 2 draws and a loss in their last 3 Premier League away fixtures. Away from home haven't been as strong, not even close. 28.33 XG is the best in the Premier League according to Understat. They've conceded the joint fewest goals as well, level with Arsenal with 10 conceded. They're just 2-3-1 away from home in the Premier League. 9 points from 6. 10 goals scored, 8 conceded. McAllister returns to the team. Konaté, Gomez, Gravenberch, all in training on Thursday. Mo Salah, by the way, has a goal and assist in his last 8 games against Man City across all competitions. A 4-1 home win for City against Liverpool last season, and they beat them 3-2 in the EFL Cup as well, but they did lose 1-0 at Anfield last campaign. City, no clean sheets in their last 9 against Liverpool. They played to over 2.5 these two teams in 7 of their last 8 meetings, and both teams to score has played in 8 of 9. So a top-of-the-table clash to get things started. Where you stand, where's your edge or angle for this one?
I am taking a pro-Man City stance. I just think that for everything you've said around their injury issues, the fact they've been a little bit fortunate perhaps to have scored so many goals at home, I just think they're a much better team than Liverpool. If this game...
Much better. Wow.
Yeah, I do. Especially with this game being at the Etihad. If it was at Anfield, it would be a different story. But as you said, City are just a relentless winning machine at their home base. Liverpool, relentless winning machine at their home base. Liverpool do not travel well, full stop. They've been really, really poor. If you go back to the start of last season, their record in away Premier League matches is 1-8, drawn 8, lost 9, which is not the kind of record you need if you're going to be contending for a title. The expected goals data across that period is 1.8 expected goals for per game and 1.7 expected goals against per game. With that against figure is a problem. That's just way too high. They're conceding too many chances. And if they continue in that manner, which you'd have to say they probably will at the Etihad, just because of the way in which they'll play. They'll play open. They'll try and take the game to City as they always do. They've got no Robertson, no Konaté, so they're lacking a little bit of pace and presence at the back to what they usually would be. And then the other thing to factor in with Liverpool is the amount of players, and key players as well, that have been on international duty in South America, which I think they concluded their matches. We're recording this on Thursday. They concluded it on Wednesday. So they won't have touched down in the UK until maybe late Thursday. maybe early Friday, depending on times
Well,
they kicked off.
I think the games were Tuesday, not Wednesday.
I think they finished Wednesday early hours in the UK.
Okay, so yes, with the
So
time.
they wouldn't have flown out until probably Wednesday
Gotcha.
later.
Yeah.
But either way, they're coming off a long haul trip. They're probably not going to train when they get back. It's just going to be tactical work, and then they're going to play the early kickoff on Saturday, which, as you mentioned off the top of the show, Jurgen Klopp is not a very big fan of the fact that Liverpool keep getting stuck at 12:30. But you've got Alexis McAllister, you've got Darwin Nunez, you've got Luis Diaz, three starters really for Liverpool's team that have all had to play, in South America and travel
Brazil
back.
last time too. The Argentina, McAllister.
Exactly, yeah. And Nunes has had a good international break. I think he scored two or three goals for Uruguay across their two matches. But again, it's like, I don't think, it's always difficult to know what Klopp will do, whether he'll throw them straight in or whether he won't. Either way, I think they will be a little bit fatigued to some extent. All that travelling is going to have a big impact. Whereas Man City don't have any such issues. I think Edison was the only one, but he pulled out of the squad. So he was back home early. So that is definitely in City's favour. The bet I'm going to put forward is City to win and both teams to score, which is at plus 207, which is a big number. I was expecting to see it a little bit shorter. I was tempted to just take City to win. That price actually drifted. So it's bigger than what it was when I looked the other day. But yeah, we're talking about a team that's won 15 straight home Premier League games, and 9 of those games have seen both teams to score. So this bet has had a 60% strike rate over the last 15 Premier League home games against Man City. And as you mentioned, their attack overall this season is the second best in the league, behind only Liverpool. So the chances of Liverpool scoring, I think, are quite high at the Etihad. But I just think that this Liverpool defence won't be able to contain Man City. I could see it being a similar kind of scoreline result to what happened back in the last year, where I think was it 4-1 that City won, or 3-1, or something like that. I could see this being similar. I think this is a real statement game for City. I think they'll be able to do the business on Liverpool.
Very good. I like both teams to score at over 2.5 at minus 124. I think that you're still getting enough juice there. I actually thought that would be pushed a little further out. Again, City haven't had a clean sheet against Liverpool at 9. They played the over 2.5 in 7 of 8. And both teams to score has played between these teams in 8 of 9. That's a good combination for me. City, although they might go on and win this game, I think that you might be underestimating Liverpool a little bit. I'm very aware of their away form versus the home form for Liverpool. But as if you've been listening to this podcast, understand I'm invested in Liverpool in terms of futures plays to go on and win the Premier League. And this is a huge game. This is a huge opportunity against them for a City side that just hasn't hit their full stride. I think they're still in second gear. They haven't hit third or fourth yet. And coming out of an international break, it might be a good time to add that variable of maybe a little bit of unpredictability, especially with players, important players, questionable in terms of their health and their fitness for Man City. I don't know how fit Erling Haaland is. Alvarez is one of those players, much like the Liverpool player who's been traveling overseas. So I just don't think that this is anywhere close to being a lock for City to go on and win this game. And I expect goals in this game based on the way that these two teams regularly have played. So at minus 124, that's a number I can back, and that's going to be my play for this game. I'm going to make it 1.5 unit out of the gate.
Ooh.
Let's go.
You don't usually go 1.5. So,
I don't. But City defensively, even in games where they've given up a very low expected goals against, they've still been conceding. They conceded 4 at Chelsea last time. Go through some of their games, like other than against Manchester United. That's the only game that they've come away with a clean sheet of any distinction as of late. So that's a problem that Pep's going to have to solve. And I just don't think that back line is necessarily settled. And we'll see Ederson plays on the weekend as well. So, yep. The total on both teams to score, very comfortable making that play for 1.5 unit. Anything else to add on this massive? It's a big game here, Jake, to get us started this weekend.
Is a big game, yeah. I think it could be one of the games of the season as well. Just because Liverpool will want to turn it into a basketball match, and I think Man City will probably oblige. I think City have got that a little bit more control than Liverpool have. But yeah, I think it's gonna be a fun game.
I know that Arsenal's level on points with Liverpool, but these are the two contenders for me. I think one of these two teams is going to win the Premier League. So for this play, goals in both teams to score. For future plays, come on, Liverpool, go on. I can't believe this. I mean, I can't say as a United supporter, either one's difficult for me to say, but